Okay, in this assignment, you are going to learn how to create prints on paper with the block that you have carved from rubber. The first step is to add black printing ink to a printing plate about the size of your thumbnail. You don't need much. If you use too much ink, your ink will slide around, and then too much ink will get into the grooves of your printing block, and it will not print well on your paper. Using a brayer, which is a roller for ink, you're going to roll your ink on the printing plate, moving it from side to side so that your two colors that you have combine in the middle and make a third color. Next, you're going to want to number the back of your block 1, 2, 3, and 4 so that you can turn your block as you print. You can rotate or spin the block to make your print more interesting. Next, please make sure that you write your name on the back of your paper as well as your period number. In order for me to grade your paper, I need to find your name. If I don't find your name, I will not give you credit for this assignment. So please make sure your name, not just your initials, are on the back. To begin printing, make sure the number 1 is at the top of the block, flip it over, and apply your ink evenly onto the rubber block, covering all areas. Make sure you set your brayer down with the ink matching the brayer. Start in the upper left-hand corner, lining up the top of your paper and the top edge of your block and the side of your paper and the side edge of your block. Do not press the first print hard because there's a lot of ink on your block and you will make too much ink on your paper. It'll slide around. It won't print well. The second print you make with the block, press a little bit harder. Oh yeah, by the way, please put newspaper under your work. Forgot to do that. It'll make your cleanup so much quicker. When I press the third time before putting more ink on the block, this time I'm going to make a fist and pound the block down. There's not much ink left on the block, so I want to transfer what's left onto the paper. You see the print comes up much lighter. Reapply your ink to your block. Make sure that your ink goes on the same way, pink on the pink side, turquoise on the turquoise side. I'm on number 4 now in my rotation. Start at the top. I'm going to lean forward so I can see a little better and make sure that it's lining up to the top edge of the paper. To receive a good grade, you're going to make sure that your print is neat. Your rows are neat. There are not gaps between your prints. Also, make sure that your colors look good, meaning the ink didn't go into the grooves. Your print is very clear. And you have experimented with colors using only the same colors on your sheet. Don't switch midway through to 2 different colors. And make sure you rotate your block so that your pattern remains the same. You can also choose to rotate in a different way. If you don't want to go with the 1, 2, 3, 4, you could do 1, 2, 1, 2, or 3, 4, 3, 4, or come up with some other sort of pattern. You can be creative with that. So I'm going to continue to print. Remember, the first time I print, the ink is wet, so don't press too hard. It'll slide around. Second one, press a little bit harder. Third one, go ahead and just pound it to get the ink to transfer to the paper. After 2 or 3 prints, you're going to need to put more ink on your block, and you might need to put more ink on your printing plate, as I'm doing now. For this paper, I only put ink on the printing plate 2 times. That was enough to get me through the whole thing. Don't go sideways like I was just showing, because that would just make your color all one color. Instead of having distinct colors, I have pink or magenta, I have the turquoise, and then I have the purple in the middle. Make sure you fill up your whole sheet. There are 24 boxes. There are 4 rows. There are 6 columns. That is how many you need to have in this project. Also, I expect you to print 3 copies of this project on 3 different papers, doing your best on each one, and then choose your best design for your grade. You can mix up different colors, you can try different colored papers, different colored inks, different patterns. You can even carve a new block if you so choose. So I like to go 3 times before I put more ink on because I like the variation in the colors. I like it when it fades from the first print being the darkest to the third print being the lightest. If you need to reprint like I just did, just make sure you line up your block very well to reprint areas that you missed. Again, first one I press kind of lightly, make sure you print evenly though, so you're pressing on all parts of the block. Second one, pressing a little harder. And the third one, if you choose to print a third one, just pound it. So at the end of this assignment, make sure that you put your Please make sure that you put your paper on the drying rack, starting at the bottom of the drying rack. Fill up the rack, put the next rack down. When we use the drying rack, we start at the bottom and work our way up. We never just start at the top and pile things on top of each other. Papers should not be on top of each other because if they are, they're going to stick together. Make sure you clean up when you're done, washing your brayer, your printing plate, and your block, and returning them back to where they go. Be respectful of others so everyone has clean materials and a clean space to work, and that is how you complete a print. Have fun.